And speaking of elections, Sudan, not South Sudan, but Sudan had its elections last weekend. Yeah, I mean, I'm so sorry. I was trying to say they had their extension of Mr. President's tenure. You understand? yes, because you know, the man has been there for 25 years and he still ran in this year's election. Just imagine that. Like, what? I don't know what is wrong with some African leaders. They get there and they never want to leave. By the way, people said that this is the second multi-candidate election to ever be held in Sudan since al-Bashir came to power in 1989, which was in a coup. But you know, how do you call this a multi-candidate election when the major opposition parties boycotted the elections? Hey, you know, they didn't even participate at all because they already know who's gonna win the election. Majority of the candidates on the ballot papers were independent candidates, and you know, you already know you can't beat Mr. President. So a lot of people got on the ballot paper without any affiliation with any political party. And the funny thing is, everywhere you go in Sudan, I heard that you will only see Mr. President's billboards and posters, you know, on TV as well, which is owned and controlled by him. They were only talking about him as if he's the only candidate. Apparently though, he has monopoly on advertising on state-owned TV station. They don't take adverts from other candidates, so all you see on TV from morning till night is, oh, Mr. President is running for re-election. By the way, this is the video of Mr. President voting, you know, all the ceremony about him voting for himself again after 25 years. Yeah. So guess what happened? The people of Sudan revolted by boycotting the election. So yes, majority of the people did not register, they refused to, and majority of those who registered did not show up for elections. In one neighborhood where about 3,000 people registered to vote, only 30 people showed up for elections. In another place with thousands of registered voters, only 85 people showed up. Voting officials were actually going to work with match because they know they would just sleep most of the day while praying that people will come out to vote. It's so funny because a lot of foreign observers and foreign journalists wrote in their stories that when they got to Sudan for the elections, people were like, why are you here? And they were like, well, we're here for the elections. And a lot of people were like, oh yeah, there is an election, right? We didn't even realize it. You're welcome, you're welcome. Just imagine that. I was really confused, by the way, when they announced that the elections will be 3 days. I was like, 3 days of voting? What, 3 days of voting? Who does that? And guess when the result will be announced? The 27th of this month. That means that they would take at least 2 weeks before they announce the result. Like, what? They will make sure that everything riggable has been rigged before announcing the result. Now, when people refuse to show up in 3 days, they decided to extend it to 4 days. I was like, oh my god, this is a total failure. Now, the ruling party campaigners, they literally started going from door to door begging people to come out and vote. Just imagine, they were giving people money and all kinds of rewards just to get them to come and vote. And when they started going from door to door, the people were ready for them. A lot of people wrote on their walls, leave, as in don't come inside, we don't want you. Other people were more detailed in what they wrote on their doors. Listen to this: dear candidates, don't bother knocking, don't bother knocking. This family is boycotting the elections, so save yourself the embarrassment. Snap! I'm not aligned with any political movement, but I'm against this fake elections and the government's obsession with trying to make everyone believe that lie, that people are participating in this sham. Ooh, snap! I love my Sudanese people. You see, this is what I'm saying. If they try to protest, policemen will stop them. So people decided to write all kinds of stuff on their doors, you know, which I really appreciate. Now, this was written by a Sudanese activist, Zara Haida, explaining why people decided to boycott the elections. People are boycotting because this is a government that humiliated, terrorized, and made us lose hope, as well as stole our dreams. Wow. Now that's deep. The government has stolen a lot of dreams in Sudan. Wow, that's so true. When the government doesn't do what it's supposed to do, they end up robbing people of their dreams. Now, in case some of you have forgotten, this same man, al-Bashir, was the one responsible for the genocide in Darfur, in his country, that claimed the lives of more than 400,000 people. And you displaced more than 2.5 million of your own people. And you know, till today, his government disputes these estimates. They deny any connection with the Janjaweed that they used at the time. He's still wanted at The Hague, by the way, which is why he's clinging to power so badly. So now you guys understand why people in Sudan will boycott the elections. I mean, extensions of his tenure, that's what I should say. Because of all the stuff that the president has done in 25 years and the fact that he's refusing to step down. And guess what? I'm just keeping it real.